Natasha, and I am going to introduce you all to my family tales of me growing up as a child, of my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, Malindy, who was 100% Cherokee Indian and was sold in slavery unlawfully. I will hope for you guys to enjoy everything that you will discover here today in this movie.
In 1820, an innocent baby girl was born, full-blooded Cherokee. Her given name was Rose Dawn. In 1827, around the age of 7 years old, she was lost by her tribe in Missouri on a plantation doing a fur trade. And later, she was sold unlawfully and then was given the name Malindy.
The early whites coming into the Cherokee country, I'm sure they wondered why they were so light-skinned, you know. If I were living back then, I'd wonder why. Of course, the early white people were traders that came in. And Cherokees adapted very well. They needed the metal pots and pans, the hoes, different things like shovels, things that they had. You know, women liked nice-looking clothing, and I'm sure the women accepted the bright ribbons and the bright clothing that was coming in. They started adapting to those things very quickly.
From 1827 to 1865, Malindy was a slave in Missouri. She married a free man named Charlie Wilson, who was a mulatto, mixed with Irish and black. And they both had 5 children named Ellen, Henry, Gregory, Laura, and Sammy. Charlie was unable to live with her on a plantation for long periods of time. Malindy lived on 3 different plantations in Missouri. While she lived there as a slave, she always told her children to remember their story. She asked Ellen, her oldest daughter, my great-great-grandmother, to tell the story to her descendants. Ellen promised her that she will tell the story. Ellen, my great-great-great-grandmother, raised Teresa and Mildred. Ellen even told them to remember the story, and Mildred promised as she passed on her words.
During the Civil War, they had to knit socks and sweaters and little things to go to the soldiers. They would be up at night, and then if they would get sleepy like that, she said that the mistress would break off broom straws and prop her eyes open. The eyes open till they finished whatever they were doing.
Went down to the river Jordan, where John baptized 3. When I walked the devil in hell, says Johnny baptized me. I say, roll, Jordan, roll. Oh, now roll, Jordan, roll. My soul will rise ever, Lord.
My grandmother was sold right here with her 5 children here and made pouches in her dress, and they called it the gunny sack back then. And all 5 of her children will hold on to these holes in her dress, and she told her children, no matter what they do, hold tight onto me. And they would never let go. And by them doing that, they couldn't separate them. So the guys sold them as a whole. And it was one man named Mrs. that took them as a family to work on his farm.
Out of what my grandmother called gunny sack, that's what she called it. And she made slits all in it and says, now if we ever have to go Y'all will hang on to me. I will not lose my family. You know, this would, no matter what they do, don't y'all turn me loose. And that's what they did at the auction blocks, which really upset her. And she stood firm with that.
Mildred Johnson hopes her great-grandmother's story will give readers a greater appreciation of the sacrifices of all slaves.
Well, if they could go through all of this, surely, I can do better than I'm doing, and I'm going to move on for a better life for myself.
Malindy is my great-great-grandmother.
Okay. And so my first question is, how old were you when you first heard the family tales of Malindy?
15 or 16.
Awesome. And what were like your favorite memory of the tales that you discovered about Malindy?
My mom was telling me that she used to brush her grandmother's hair and then hung past her waist.
And who was your grandmother?
My grandmother is Ophelia Buckner Johnson.
And if Malindy was here today, what would be one thing you would love to discover about her?
Her parents.
Oh, the Cherokee Indians that were from Kentucky.
Correct.
Great, great. I want to thank you for sharing it with us today.
You're welcome.
Educated classes that have inspired me along my academic journey have been my history and English fundamentals. As far as how these classes helped me along with my project, is seeing how my drive and creativeness brought me even closer to my family's roots. For example, how I put forth everything that I learned from my oral communications class by researching and presenting my family's background well with great honor. History has also been another inspiring class that infused even more energy to compare my family's tales to the American history lectures that was given in my classes. Throughout my experience with this film, I have become more wise and humble.
All the tales you just discovered here about my family today are all written here in this book, Malindy's Freedom, a story of a slave family. This was written by my cousin, which is Malindy's great-great-great-granddaughters, Mildred Johnson and Teresa Deslone. Okay. I'm Latasha. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry. I'm Latasha. And somebody typed in it. Tales that you just learned about my family today are all written here in this book. Malindy's Freedom, a story of a slave.
I just hold thumbs
I
up.
can't see your thumb.
Well, you need to look at me.